Let's take a look. Gooze versus Clyde. Who do you think is going to take it?
Those are some.
Look at those.
That's a Jay Leno chin if I've ever seen it.
Lava Hound.
I'm really excited that both of these players have easy to pronounce names. I think that's going to go a long way for me sitting here on this couch.
English
so open
is
up with
hard.
Lava Hound. Lava Hound, those are good to get on the board when you can because, of course, you're the most vulnerable when you play those big, expensive cards. Gets away with it, right? 7 Elixir on the board, and you know what? Nothing really came down. No Royal Giants, no Hog Riders, nothing to really punish them. So we're going to see just a regular Lava Hound on Lava Hound attack.
Cute little Eskimo kiss on the bridge, and the Lava Hounds make their way across to the other side. Minions are going to do a ton of damage to Clyde's Lava Hound, but similar timing on... It's interesting, Clyde opted to use, or rather Gooze opted to use Zap on the Lava Pups, but still took more damage to his tower than Clyde did. And I really have to chalk that up to kind of the chump units and the archers being 2 bodies to tank up shots from the Lava Pups, as opposed to Gooze's lack of bodies to tank up the Lava Pup damage.
Yeah, the archers are actually in both of Clyde's lists. He's running archers as one of the 4 cards that he can duplicate across above both lists, and they're really strong right now. Nobody's playing poison anymore, and that used to be the bane of archers' existence. Instead, archers survive against arrows, they survive against log, and they're a great defensive attacker that do a ton of anti-air damage while being really hard to remove from the board on your opponent. If they want to lightning it, that seems really bad, right? Because it hits Archer 1, Archer 2 in the tower. That's not a great use of 6 Elixir.
Definitely an interesting setup to use archers with. We haven't seen them in a very, very long time. Kind of similar, in a similar vein to something like Spear Goblin. But Lava Hound makes it on the left side for Gooze, and it's still going strong. Meanwhile, Clyde's Lava Hound has already came and went. How will Clyde defend? I think the Tombstone is going to be pretty key for drawing the Lava Hound, the Lava Pup damage away. And actually, Clyde opts to spend 0 Elixir to stop the Pups. He's going straight for offense right now.
He's going to need that lightning on offense right here. He's going to want to hit the Elixir Collector, whatever comes up to defend the Miner. And, well, maybe not. He doesn't throw the Miner at all.
But that's a free tower.
Yeah, it is a free tower. Well, it's really close. That lightning that was played on defense by Gooze is a huge desperation play. Did not work out for him. Used lightning to try to save that tower, and instead it hit just a cavalcade of kind of chumpy units that you're not really worried about getting off the board. I think he would have been better off, Gooze, playing that Lava Hound earlier, right? Just starting to move for the next lane.
How effective, I mean, Clyde really calling Gooze's bluff. Clyde opted to play no Elixir on defense, knew that it was his time to go on the aggressive end, and that has to be kind of the champion's decision-making working in Clyde's favor there.
Now that the reason why he cast those arrows really early to kill the minions is he's trying to cycle back to it so he can arrow the Lava Pups. But didn't need it. Clyde takes game 1 in a Lava Hound mirror matchup, something that I think would really favor Clyde as one of the innovators of the Lava Hound archetype. Actually, Clyde was the first player that we ever saw bring Lava Hound Miner to a major tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. So there's a really, so Lava Hound was actually already a deck. People already played Lava Hound. But what Clyde did that was really the new technology in Lava Hound decks that made them super popular was Miner. Now what happens here is when the Lava Hound dies, there's a split second where the Lava Pups don't exist yet. The tower's gonna lock on to the nearest thing and start shooting it. There's nothing around, just locks onto a Lava Pup, starts shooting them down. Miner digs up under the ground, pops up right before the Lava Hound dies. Lava Hound dies, tower goes, no, Miner, I'll shoot that. And the Pups go crazy.
All day.
Ever since Clyde won the second Super Magical Cup of Season 2 with that deck, we have seen Lava Hound and Miner. They've been in a relationship ever since.
They're buddies. They're super big buddies.
So a difference in their decks was the Elixir Collector that Gooze had. Do you think it helped or hurt or had any effect at all?
I think the thing that really helped in that match was Clyde had arrows, and I didn't see it in Gooze's deck. Gooze had, was it log maybe? I'm not totally sure off the top of my head. We've seen
He
so many
definitely
games.
had Zap.
He definitely had, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Zap instead of arrows. Now the arrows are so key in that matchup because Lava Pups don't die to Zap, but do die to arrows. So part of the reason why Clyde was able to get away with not really spending any elixir on defense is as soon as those Lava Pups come out, just 3 elixir arrows done, fine. We're cool, moving on.
One thing too, Randy, again, I'm just going to bring it up one more time. I might bring it up multiple times. But Clyde had, again, 1 card that he did not use in that last one. So he won using 7
What
cards.
was it?
We will never
We'll never know.
We will never know.
We'll never know unless we see. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, the next game is underway. Clyde, 1 more game away from going on to the finals and joining Eric. Let's see if he can take it or can Gooze tie it up.
I'm a big believer in eco-friendly play. If you don't need the 8th card, Why use it? Just save it.
Yeah, just look at it.
Save it for a rainy day.
Both players very cautious. They both leaked a bunch of elixir in the early game, which I would really say is normally never worth it. But I think they were both thinking about making big plays, and Gooze opens up with that Lava Hound. I think he wanted to watch and see what Clyde was going to do first before committing the Lava Hound, and Clyde's doing the same.
Here's the big body Clyde. Try to go up against Clyde in a big body match, and I think you find yourself in a very, very tough spot. Clyde did well winning the first game, but now we see the first interaction of the next, and Golem isn't quite the same as Lava Hound. Let's see what these pups can do. Again, just circumstantially, it just always seems like Clyde has enough stuff by the time the Lava Hound pops, and the pups just don't target what they're meant to.
Archers have been really great in that matchup because not only are they two separate bodies for spread out lava pups to start attacking, but they're two separate guns, right? Two bows that are shooting at different lava pups and cleaning up the swarm as quickly as possible. Really slow attacking units are not going to be so good against the lava pups because they're low health and you just got to spend your time grinding between them. Great for those fast firing duo of archers to clean up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Archers has to get a revisit, especially as you identified as Poison is kind of moving out of the meta. There's not very many, none of the 2 or 3 elixir spells remove it.
Right. And that's exactly why they're seeing a lot more play. If people were to go back to Poison, wouldn't be that popular. Or people could Fireball if we really wanted to, but that's a 3 elixir troop getting killed by a 4 elixir spell. The Archer player's pretty happy with that normally.
Executes a less than perfect Miner tank, just a little bit late on the pop-up. Lost about 2 pups before the Miner started tanking, and the Archers were left on free reign to take down the pups in the back that were being tanked for in the end. And I feel like a little bit like a broken record, but really I think Archers is a fantastic pick for Clyde.
Look at that. That one Archer from the last time he casted is still alive and still shooting and doing a lot of work.
There's a big play on Lightning. That's going to earn the pups a good amount of damage, and now finally does Clyde actually zap the pups. Is that the card that he was holding? I don't know. He's still holding an 8th card. We'll see. Maybe it's Lightning, actually.
It's unfortunate. So the one thing that Clyde doesn't have to play in his Golem version of his big tanky build-up deck is he doesn't have to play Miner. Miner is really uniquely good with Lava Hound, but not so great with Golem. And that Miner is actually doing a lot of work for Gooze in this matchup, going after Clyde's Princess over and over again.
Look at how many skeletons Clyde has on his side of the field. Tombstone has been really doing well for Clyde. And even though Gooze also has Tombstone in his deck, somehow I just don't feel like it's quite as effective. That being said, Gooze has constantly been putting pressure with little bits of Lava Pup damage and Lava Hound damage in combination with Lightning, and Gooze is actually starting to run away with this.
Lightning has really been the deciding factor so far in that Gooze doesn't have very lightningable boards on defense, but Clyde really does. The Ice Wizard, the Tombstone, the Archers, they're all getting lightninged over and over again. It's really hurting.
There we see, again, another use of the Lightning card. But Princess now has a little bit of a free reign before it gets arrowed down. And I really think Ice Wizard onto the Golem is hurting Clyde a lot as well. Right. The Golem is so slow, but now a second Golem is going to be added on. But I think that Miner might be able to just take the game on his own.
That's it.
Oh, one more smack.
But you're right. One Lava Pup swing. You're right, so Ella, you mentioned the Ice Wizard. When would be a good time to use Ice Wizard?
That was it.
Gooze rode his way to the victory on the back of that Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard was holding down defense almost by itself because Golem is so slow that when you slow it down by another 35%, the tower is just going, just boop, boop, boop. And with the Tombstone in the middle, the skeletons were building up. The Golem is going out of its way to fight the Tombstone, and the whole time the Ice Wizard is adding on a little bit of damage, and the tower is just laying into that Golem.
So going back to our favorite cards, I lied a little bit. I really like Princess too.
You lied?
I lied. But it seems like she gets crushed pretty easily when you don't handle her correctly. What is an ideal situation to bring her out and shoot those arrows?
Well, not against decks with arrows and Miner, I'll tell you that much. That's one. But no, I think the best situation for Princess is when you can play her very far behind a push to help support. We saw Clyde trying to do that. He had his Golem moving. The Princess was really far away, trying to kill all the skeletons and Ice Wizards that were around the Golem. The problem was Gooze was keeping it off the board. The biggest advantage of Princess, she shoots at such a far range, she almost doesn't have to ever really cross the river, and you can get situations where you build up 2, 3, 4 princesses and they're all firing.
Wow.
Didn't happen in that game.
See that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
One card that we're not seeing, I don't think we've seen at all so far, is Mirror. We haven't seen Mirror yet. Why do you think that is?
I think Mirror is a very, very difficult card to use. I think it's actually a good card.
I like it.
I think now with the change, so Mirror previously would give you a copy of the exact same card for 1 extra elixir. Now it gets actually a level plus. And I think the only thing about it is executionally, it's one of probably the hardest cards to utilize.
All right.
You need a lot of flexibility and kind of thinking on your feet to be able to use it well.
Well, no mirrors right now, but what we do have is Clyde versus Gooze. It is all tied up. One of these two players will be moving on to the finals.
Ugh.
Here's a matchup where I think Elixir Collector really matters, and it's going to be very, very good for Gooze. Clyde has to prevent Gooze from building up a lot of those Elixir Collectors, or else he's going to be able to put not just a Lava Hound, but a significant amount of supporting troops behind the Lava Hound, and then you're in big trouble.
Big lightning, and as you noted, Christian, this golem is going to pop, and those skeletons are going to be pushed off the field. Actually, and maybe the minion too.
No, just out of range.
But even then, look at that, over 1,500 damage already dealt just from the lightning and the golem.
Yeah, it's a deadly combo, and this is really the price that Gooze pays for playing his collector in trade to the golem.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the long term it's going to help. Oh, wow, that's an interesting play. So what he's doing right there, that's not a mistake. He's playing it in the front so that you can't fireball it as easy, and he might even play them far enough apart that you can't lightning them both.
Oh, wow.
Also, he doesn't mind playing it on the. Okay, yeah, that's
good job. Oh wow. So if this what Clyde's trying to do here is use that princess to shoot that elixir collector safely and take away all of the 8 elixir that it is storing up in there. If he could have pulled that off, or maybe even killed that mega minion quickly, I think that would have really worked out in his favor because it would force Gooze to switch some elixir to the left lane to take care of the princess.
What's really great about that situation is Gooze felt compelled to spend his mega minion on the left side rather than playing it on the right side for the golem. I think that's going to earn the golem just a few bits of damage here.
Look at these archers, though. These archers are just doing work.
Yeah, they've just been standing there shooting.
And it's crazy because there's nothing in Gooze's deck that can reasonably get over there and kill them. Like, I guess minions or Mega Minion at the river might be the best shot, but there's just not a lot of great openings. Less than a minute to go, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if Gooze now in double elixir time has the opportunity to really play many more collectors on his own side of the map, because we're going to get close to the point where 622 health, if you have that golem swinging on your tower in any amount, oh, that might be a big explosion. Oh. No, just gets the skeletons. The arrows does clear it out. I think that's a tower for Clyde.
There's nothing else he can lightning it. It's definitely within lightning range now. So the question is can Gooze get his push to the tower and get it down within lightning range? He doesn't have a fireball. He only has zap and lightning, so it's really got to get there. The princess is firing over again. It's safe over there.
This is very smart from Clyde. He knows that Gooze does not have enough time to try to hatch a master plan that we were talking about before in terms of mind games. Clyde is just going to force Gooze to play elixir on the left.
He's going to light you. Oh, no, he didn't lightning it. Yep. Goose could have lightning that right-hand tower, and that's why Clyde was already kind of going for that push. Wow, was he short on elixir at the end? I didn't check his amount.
I think that Gooze felt compelled to play defensive cards against the golem, and then just did not quite have the scenario or the situation of the elixir to play the lightning on the right side, which is why mathematically, Clyde took the mathematically advantageous position, right? He says, I know, because we only have 20 seconds left, you do not actually have the time to hatch the plan of playing something behind your tower and trying to play a gamble of like, oh, this is really scary, I might want to invest elixir here. Clyde's not taking any of that. He knows that 20 seconds is not enough time for you to actually build enough elixir to do that, so he just forced the issue. Golem at the bridge on the left side. Hey, you want to lightning down that tower? That's 6 elixir. You don't have to deal with a golem that's barreling down your way. If we go 1-1, I have so much of a health lead against you on that left side tower. So, checkmate.
Sweet. Well, good for Clyde. He's going to be moving on. Let's take a look at now our first replay.
Lava Hound.
Lava Hound.
The mystery of Lava Hound, of Clyde's defense against the Lava Pups is really something to behold. And on the flip side, look at how effective Clyde's own Lava Pups are. I mean, really just the troops surrounding the situation when the Lava Hounds pop, Clyde just seems to have a much better mastery of.
Let's see. In this one, this is what we saw so much of in this game. The key there was when the golem blows up, he does a little bit of damage to people around him, and all those skeletons that had been built up from the tombstone just died when the golem died, and that gave Clyde sort of a second wind, another chance to push through some more damage, unlike the Lava Hound that doesn't have the ability to, destroy the things that are killing it.
Yeah.
I think that really mattered in letting Clyde push through some damage.
Could you, like you said, when the lava hound explodes and lava pups come out, could you technically arrow and miss all the lava pups if you don't time it? Like if you accidentally...
If you did it too early?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Hopefully that never happens to you guys. Make sure you time your arrows wisely. Time it very wisely. Let's talk about, as we're going into pull the bracket for the finals here, we have Eric versus Clyde. Are they a part of the same clan?
We talked about this at the start of the broadcast, right? Eric, Clyde, and
oh, that's right, Takeover.
Heels are all
Takeover is
members
taken
of
over.
Takeover, and even though Heels and Clyde, had to play each other, Clyde knocks them out. Eric and Clyde are able to move through their sides of the bracket, meeting in the finals. Yesterday, we had a finals between 2 Reddit clan system members, and today we have 2 Takeover members against each other.
Clans are strong.
I'd love to see a grudge match between enemy clans as opposed to a family fight that's going on here.
Right now, Takeover's like, we're fine. Like, whoever wins, this is great. This is kind of
they're gonna be
for
happy no matter
internal
what.
pride.
Who knows? Maybe it'll break apart. Maybe they'll just be like, you
no.
ruined it for me.
that would be awful. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up the decks now for both of these players. We have Eric, and we've got Clyde. Oh, and
Nope.
Gooze. No,
that should be Eric.
We don't got Gooze. We got Eric and Clyde.
Yeah, that was the semifinal deck matchup. There.
Hey!
No,
Still not
Eric.
That's fine.
We actually have the list. Eric was playing an Expo deck, and the other was Giant Bowler, right? So what do you think is going to be the key matchup where it's got Golem and Lava Hound versus Giant Bowler and Expo, a much more diverse finals than we saw yesterday.
Which was just Expo.
All those expos.
Yeah.
It's going to be all up to Clyde's lightning usage. When he makes the call to lightning the crossbow, how he's going to deal with trying to find value lightning